Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitamscha Om Jnana Timarandasya Gnanachana Shalakaya Chakshuram Jamyana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Urva Bishtam Sapurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govindam Vidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwa Guruncha Divyad Bhagavat Premna Vibicha Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyambudim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Banditam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridaram Vanshakopatarubyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevicha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamananyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So, reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Madhya-lila, chapter 3, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's stay at the house of Adwaita Acharya. Nyasam vidayot pranayota goro vrindavanam gantu mana brahmadyaha radhe brahman shanti purim ayitva lalasa bhaktar ihatam natosmi. After accepting the sannyas order of life, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of intense love for Krishna, wanted to go to Vrindavan, but apparently by mistake he wandered in Radha Desh. Later he arrived at Shantipur and enjoyed himself there with his devotees. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Adwaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Adwaita Prabhu. And all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, headed by Srivas. Shabisha Batsara Shesha Jai Maghamas Tara Shukla Pake Prabhu Korila Sannyas. At the end of his 24th year, in the month of Magh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the sannyas order during the waxing period of the month. At the end of his 24th year, in the month of Magh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the sannyas order during the waxing period of the moon. Sannyas Kori Prema Beshe Chalila Brindavan Radha Deshe Tina Dina Korila Brahman. After accepting the sannyas order, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of intense love for Krishna, started for Vrindavan. However, he mistakenly wandered about in a trance continuously for 3 days in the tract of land known as Radha Desh. The word Radha Desh comes from the word Rashtra, or state. From Rashtra, the corrupted word Radha has come. The part of Bengal on the western side of the Ganges is known as Radha Desh. Another name is Pondra Desh or Pendo Desh. The word Pendo is a corrupted form of the word Pondra. It appears that the capital of Rashtra Desh was situated in that part of Bengal. Shloka Pari Prabhu Bhavera Aveshe Brahmite Pavitra Koila Sabarada Deshe. Passing through the tract of land known as Radhadesh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited the following verse in ecstasy. Etam sa astaya paratmanishtam adyasitam purvatamayer mahadbi aham tarishyami duranta param tamo makundangri nishevayaiva. As a Brahmin from Avanti Desh said, I shall cross over the insurmountable ocean of nescience by being firmly fixed in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. This was approved by the previous acharyas who were fixed in firm devotion to the Lord Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhu kohe sadhu e bikura bachan mukunda sevana brata koila nirdaram. So this is from the 11th, this verse. Etam sahastaya paratmanishtam adyasitam purvatamayar mahadbi aham tarishyami duranta param tamo mukundangri nishevayaiva. This is from the 11th canto. So in connection with this verse, which is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur says that of the 64 items required for rendering devotional service, acceptance of the symbolic marks of sannyas is a regulative principle. If one accepts a sannyas order, his main business is to devote his life completely to the service of Mukunda, Krishna. If one does not completely devote his mind and body to the service of the Lord, he does not actually become a sannyasi. It is not simply a matter of changing dress. In Bhagavad Gita it is also stated, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotiya sa sannyasi cha yogi cha. One who works devotedly for the satisfaction of Krishna is a sannyasi. The dress is not sannyas, but the attitude of service to Krishna is. The word Paramatmanishta means being a devotee of Lord Krishna. Paramatma, the Supreme Person, is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. And those who are completely dedicated to the lotus feet of Krishna in service are actually sannyasis. As a matter of formality, the devotee accepts the sannyas dress as previous acharyas did. He also accepts the 3 dandas, or the tridanda. Later, Vishnu Swami considered that accepting the dress of a tridandi sannyas was paramatmanishta. Therefore, sincere devotees add another danda, the jiva danda, to the 3 existing dandas. The Vaishnava sannyasi is known as a tridandi sannyasi. The Mayavadi sannyasi accepts only 1 danda, not understanding the purpose of tridanda. Later, many persons in the community of Shiva Swami gave up the Atmanishta devotional service of the Lord and followed the path of Shankaracharya. Instead of accepting 108 names, those in the Shiva Swami Sampradaya followed the path of Shankaracharya and accept the 10 names of sannyas. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the then existing order of sannyas, namely Ekadanda, he still recited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam about the Tridanda sannyas accepted by the Brahmin of Avantipur. Indirectly, he declared that within that Ekadanda, 1 danda, 4 dandas existed in one. Accepting Ekadanda sannyas without paramatmanishta, devotional service to Lord Krishna, is not acceptable to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In addition, according to the exact regulative principles, one should add the jiva danda to the tridanda. These 4 dandas, bound together as one, are symbolic of unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. So actually we call it Tridandi sannyas. So there are the three bamboo rods of the Tridanda sannyas. But in addition, there's a fourth bamboo rod which is added. That's what this is referring to, and also regarding the 108 names of sannyas. Actually, in Shankaracharya's time and to the present time, there are 10 names of sannyas, but the 108 names of sannyas, that was established by Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur.
So the sannyas names are only come from that list?
Pardon me?
The sannyas names only come from that list? There's a list and all the sannyas names only come from that list?
Well, there's 108 names of sannyas. Previously there was 10, but that was expanded to 108 by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But in the time of Mahaprabhu and then up till the present time there were 10. And it's like Saraswati, Ashram, Giri, Parvat, like this.
So those are the
10
names and then the word before it, like
Those were 10.
Pavan, Janardan. So Janardan is the name, one of the names on the list, and the word.
That's one of the 108 names.
But the Pavan part is.
No, that Pavan just like is the first name. The Janardan or Sridhar, etc. These are from that 108 names. Prabhu ko he sadhu e bikarapachan makunda sevana brata koina nirdaran. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved the purport of this verse on account of the determination of the mendicant's devotee to engage in the service of Lord Mukunda. He gave his approval of this verse, indicating that it was very good. Paramatmanishta matra besha daran mukunda sevaya hoy samsara taran. The real purpose of accepting sannyas is to dedicate oneself to the service of Mukunda. By serving Mukunda, one can actually be liberated from the bondage of material existence. Seve Soquel ebe Brindavana Giya Krishna Nishevana Kori Nibrite Masya. After accepting the sannyas order, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to go to Vrindavan and engage himself wholly and solely in the service of Mukunda in a solitary place. So Mahaprabhu decided to go to Vrindavan after he accepted sannyas. Ita boli chale Prabhu Premon Madera China Dikbidik Jnana Nahi Kiba Ratri Dina. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was en route to Vrindavan, all the ecstatic symptoms became manifest, and he did not know in which direction he was going, nor did he know whether it was day or night. Nityananda Charya Ratna Mukunda Tinjan Prabhupache Pache Tine Korenagaman. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went toward Vrindavan, Nityananda Prabhu, Chandrasekhar, and Prabhu Mukunda followed him. So Nityananda, Chandrasekhar, and Prabhu, and Mukunda, they're following Mahaprabhu. Jai Jai Prabhu Deke Se Lok Premaveshe Hari Bole Kande Dukha Shok. When Mahaprabhu passed through Radhadesh, whoever saw him in ecstasy exclaimed, Hari, Hari. As they chanted this with the Lord, all the unhappiness of material existence diminished. Gopa Balak Sab Prabhu Ke Dekiya Hari Hari Bole Dake Ucha Korea. All the cowherd boys who saw Mahaprabhu passing joined with him and began to shout loudly, Hari, Hari. So they're all chanting. They're all, as Mahaprabhu is going, he's ecstatically chanting, and all the cowherd boys, they're the ones who are in the tracts of land of Radha Desh. They're taking care of the cows, and Mahaprabhu is passing by, and they all join with him in chanting Sankirtan. Shunita sabara nikata gela gorahari, bo bole sabar shire hastadari. When he heard all the cowherd boys also chanting Hari Hari, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. He approached them, put his hand on their heads, and said, "Go on chanting like that. Hasabar stuti kore tomara bhagyavan kritartha korile more shunaya harinam." So their cowherd boys are chanting, and Mahaprabhu puts his hand on their head. That means giving them blessings, and tells them to continue chanting. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus blessed them all, saying that they were all fortunate. In this way, he praised them, and he felt very successful because they chanted the holy name of Lord Hari. Gupteta Samake Anit Thakur Nityananda Shikaila Sabakare Korea Prabhanda. Calling all the boys in confidence and telling a reasonable story, Nityananda Prabhu instructed them as follows. Vrindavana Pata Prabhu Puchana Tomare Gangatira Patas Tabe Dekaya Tare. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked you about the path to Vrindavan, please show him the path on the bank of the Ganges instead. So Mahaprabhu he's in complete ecstasy, and he's wandering. Says he doesn't know if it's day and night. He doesn't know which direction he's going, but he believes he's going to Vrindavan. But he's still very close to Nabadwip, and going towards Shandipur, but still within a few miles of Nabadwip. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked you about the path to Vrindavan, please show him the path on the bank of the Ganges instead. Tabe Prabhu Puchilena Shuna Shishugan Kahadeki Kon Pate Jab Brindavan Shishusab Gangatira Pata Dekaila Se Pate Aveshe Prabhu Gamana Korila. When the cowherd boys were questioned by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the path to Vrindavan, the boys showed him the path on the bank of the Ganges, and the Lord went that way in ecstasy. Acharya Ratnare Kohe Nityananda Gosai Shigra Jaha Tumi Adwaita Acharya. As the Lord proceeded along the bank of the Ganges, Sri Nityananda Prabhu asked Acharya Ratna Chandrasekhar Acharya to go immediately to the house of Adwaita Acharya. Prabhu loye jab ami tahara mandire savadane rohan jena noka loya tire. Sri Nityananda Goswami told him, I shall take Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the bank of the Ganges at Shandipur, and Adwaita Acharya should carefully stay there on shore with a boat. So when we would go from Nabadwip to Kolkata, we would go that distance that Mahaprabhu was going from Nabadwip to Shantipur. There would be a bus that would take us. It would take about 20 minutes to a half hour by that bus to get to what is called High Road. That's the road that goes to Calcutta. And that's Shantipur. It's right near Shantipur. So distance is not so great. Maybe some miles, 5 miles or something. Mahaprabhu's wandering in ecstasy, and he's approaching the bank of the Ganges. That means he's wandering through fields. Tabe Nabadipe Tumi Korea Gaman Sachi Sahal Loya Aisha Sabhaktagan. After that, Nityananda Prabhu continued, I shall go to Adwaita Acharya's house, and you should go to Nabadwip and return with Mother Sachi and all the devotees. Tare Pitaya Nityananda Mahashaya Mahaprabhu Agyashi Dila Parichai. After sending Acharya Ratna to the house of Adwaita Acharya, Sri Nityananda Prabhu went before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and gave notice of his coming. So then, all this time, Mahaprabhu was wandering in ecstasy, and now as he's coming towards Shantipur, where Adwaita Acharya's house is, then suddenly Nityananda Prabhu goes in front of him. Prabhu kohe Sripad tomara Katake Gaman, Sripad kohe tomara sange jab Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy, and he asked where Nityananda Prabhu was going. Nityananda replied that he was going with him toward Vrindavan. Prabhu kohe kata dure ache Vrindavan, teho kohen kora e Jamuna darshan. When the Lord asked Nityananda Prabhu how far it was to Vrindavan, Nityananda Prabhu replied, just see, here's the river Jamuna. But it's actually the Ganges. But Nityananda Prabhu, when Mahaprabhu asked him, how far to Vrindavan? Oh, very near, here, just see. This is the Jamuna, which is Eta bole anila tare ganga sanidane aveshe prabhura hoila gangare jamuna jnane. Saying this, Nityananda Prabhu took a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu near the Ganges, and the Lord in his ecstasy accepted the river Ganges as the river Jamuna. Aho bhagya jamunare pailundarashan itabole jamunara korana staban. The Lord said, oh, what good fortune! Now I have seen the river Jamuna, thus thinking the Ganges to be the river Jamuna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to offer prayers to it. Chidananda Bano Sarananda Shuno Paraprema Patri Drava Brahma Gatri Aganam Lavitri Jagat Shemadatri Pavitri Kriyan No Vapur Mitra Putri. O river Jamuna, you're the blissful spiritual water that gives love to the son of Nanda Maharaj. You are the same as the water of the spiritual world, for you can vanquish all our offenses and the sinful reactions incurred in life. You are the creator of all auspicious things for the world. O daughter of the sun god, kindly purify us by your pious activities. Itabole namaskore koila ganga snan ekopina nahi dutiya paridan. After reciting this mantra, Mahaprabhu offered obeisances and took his bath in the Ganges. At that time, he had on only one piece of underwear, for there was no second garment. So he has kopin, or Brahmin underwear, but he's not carrying with him any other garments, so now his clothes are wet. Hinakali Acharya Gosa Nogate Charinya Island Nutana Kopina Bahirvasa Naya. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing there without a second garment, Sri Adwaita Acharya arrived in a boat, bringing with him new underwear and external garments. So if a person's wearing dhoti and kopin underwear, and he goes in the water, then his dhoti will dry, but his underwear will not. So then Adwaita Acharya arrived in a boat, bringing with him underwear and external garments. Age Acharya Ashe Rohila Namaskara Kori Acharya Deki Bole Prabhu Mane Shamshaya Kori. When Adwaita Acharya arrived, he stood before the Lord and offered him obeisances. After seeing him, the Lord began to wonder. He began to wonder about the entire situation. Because first, he saw Nityananda Prabhu, and he asked Nityananda Prabhu, "Oh, where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going with you to Vrindavan." So then Mahaprabhu can accept that. But then, now Adwaita Acharya comes before the Lord. Adwaita Acharya arrives in a boat and appears before the Lord. So now Mahaprabhu is wondering, well, what are you doing in Vrindavan? Tumita Acharya Gosai Eta Kenehaila Ami Vrindavane Tumi Kamate Pichanila. Still in his ecstasy, the Lord asked Adwaita Acharya, "Why did you come here? How did you know that I was in Vrindavan?" Acharya Kohe Tumi Jahan Se Vrindavan Mora Bhagye Ganga Tire Tomara Agaman. Adwaita Acharya disclosed the whole situation, telling Mahaprabhu, "Wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Now it is my great fortune that you have come to the bank of the Ganges." So Nityananda Prabhu told him it was the Jamuna. But then all of a sudden, now Mahaprabhu is standing wet and he's in the water, and he's thinking it's the Jamuna, and then Adwaita Acharya appears in a boat. And then Mahaprabhu says, "How did you know I was in Vrindavan?" And then Adwaita Acharya says, "Wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Now it is my great fortune that you have come to the bank of the Ganges." Prabhu and Shantipur is near the Ganges. Prabhu Kohe Nityananda Mare Banshila Ganga Keyaniya More Jamuna Kohila. Sri Chaitanya, well, not so near, but it's now coming to the Ganges, and then they will go to Shantipur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "Nityananda has cheated me. He has brought me to the bank of the Ganges and told me that it was the Jamuna." Acharya Kohe Mitya Nahe Sripad Bachan Jamuna Te Snana Tumi Korela Ekan. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accused Nityananda Prabhu of cheating him, Sri Adwaita Acharya said, "Whatever Nityananda Prabhu has told you is not false. You have indeed just now taken your bath in the river Jamuna. Gangaya Jamuna Bahe Hana Ekdara Paschime Jamuna Bahe Purve Gangadara." Adwaita Acharya then explained that at that spot, the Ganges and the Jamuna flow together. On the western side was the Jamuna, and on the eastern side was the Ganges. The Ganges and the Jamuna mix at the confluence at Allahabad or Prayag. The Jamuna flows from the western side and the Ganges from the eastern, and they merge. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed on the western side. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed on the western side, he actually took his bath in the river Jamuna. So much further north, the Ganges and the Jamuna flow together. The Ganges comes from the east and the Jamuna comes from the west. And then they flow together as the Ganges. But Mahaprabhu had taken his bath on the western bank. So then Adwaita Acharya says, well, then the Jamuna is coming in from the west and the Ganges from the east, and you bathe on the western bank of the Ganga. So actually you bathe on the Jamuna side. So Adwaita Acharya then explained that at that spot the Ganges and Jamuna flow together. On the western side was the Jamuna, and on the eastern side was the Ganges. Paschima Dare Jamuna Bahe Tahan Koile Snan Ardra Kopina Chadi Shushka Kora Paridad. Adwaita Acharya then suggested that since Mahaprabhu had taken his bath in the river Jamuna and his underwear was now wet, the Lord should change his underwear for dry garments. Brahmaveshe Tindin Acha Upavas Ajimora Garibika Chalamora Bas. Adwaita Acharya said, "You've been fasting continuously for 3 days in your ecstasy of love for Krishna. I therefore invite you to my home where you may kindly take your alms. Come with me to my residence." So, Mahaprabhu has been wandering for 3 days, not knowing where he's going, just more or less wandering in circles. And Adwaita Acharya gives him dry garments and says, "Well, you've been fasting for 3 days. Now we're very near to my house. So you please come there and take," when he says, "and take your alms." Alms means offering of food to Mahaprabhu who's been fasting. Ek mushti anamui kore jachon pak shukaruka bhyanjana koilun Shup Arashak. Okay. Ekamushtiana mui Gorijachumpak Shukaruka Bhyanjana Koilun Sup Arashak. Okay. Ekamushtiana mui Gorijachum Pak Shukaruka Bhyanshan Koilun Sup Arashak. Adwaita Prabhu continued, "At my home, I have just cooked 1 palmful of rice. The vegetables are always very simple. There is no luxurious cooking, simply a little liquid vegetable and spinach." And as far as I've read, actually the word soup comes from Bengali. It says, "At my house, we just cooked a little bit of soup and some spinach. Nothing luxurious. You've been fasting for 3 days. Now come to my house, and you don't have to worry. There's nothing so luxurious. Just a little simple, some soup and some spinach and a little bit of vegetable, a little bit of boiled vegetable. That will be it. So you can come there." Itabole nokaya chadana nila nijagar parapakal prakalana koila ananda antar. Sang this, Sri Adwaita Acharya took the Lord into the boat and brought the Lord to his residence. There Adwaita Acharya washed the feet of the Lord and was consequently very happy within. Pratame pak Kurijachen Acharjani Vishnu Samarpana Koila Acharya Apani. All the eatables were first cooked by the wife of Adwaita Acharya, that's Sita Thakurani. Then Srila Adwaita Acharya personally offered everything to Lord Vishnu. Tintai Boga Badaila Samakori Krishnera Bog Badaila Datu Patropari. All the prepared food was divided into 3 equal parts. 1 part was arranged on a metal plate for offering to Lord Krishna. The word Badaila, meaning increased, is very significant in this verse. It is a sophisticated word used by the Grihastras in Bengal. Whenever food is prepared and we take take away a portion, the food is actually decreased. But here it is a system to say badaila, or increased. If food is prepared for Krishna and offered to him, and the Vaishnavas, the stock is increased, never decreased. Batisha, Atiya, Kalar, Agatiya, Pate, Duitai, Boga, Badaila, Balomate. Of the three divisions, one was arranged on a metal plate, and the other two were arranged on plantain leaves. These leaves were not bifurcated, and they were taken from a banana tree that held at least 32 bunches of bananas. The two plates were filled very nicely with the kinds of food described below. So in other words, they're served on big banana leaves. One plate is metal. That was the plate offered to the Lord. And now there are two offerings on banana leaves. Madhye pita grita shikta saya anera stup charidike vyanjana donga ara mudga soup. The cooked rice was a stack of very fine grains, nicely cooked, and in the middle was yellow clarified butter, or ghee, from the milk of cows. Surrounding the stack of rice were pots made of the skins of banana trees, and in these pots were varieties of vegetables and moong dal. So we remember that Adwaita Acharya said it's very simple cooking, just a little bit of soup and spinach. But now we see there's big banana leaf with many preparations, and there's ghee on rice, and then there's surrounded by different pots of vegetables. Sardraka, Vastuka Shak, Bibida Prakar, Patola Kushmanda, Bori, Manakachuar. Among the cooked vegetables were patolas, we call them like portolas, like squash, manakachu, and a salad made with pieces of ginger and various types of spinach. Choy maricha shukta diya sabvalamule amrita ninda kapancha virat tikta jale. There was shukta, bitter melon mixed with all kinds of vegetables to find the taste of nectar. There were 5 kinds of bitter and pungent shuktas. One gets very hungry just hearing this list. Kamala Nimba Patra Sahabhaja Vartaki Patola Phula Bori Bhaja Kushmanda Manaka Chaki. Among the various vegetables were newly grown leaves of neem trees fried with eggplant. The fruit known as pato was fried with phula bori, a kind of dal preparation first mashed and dried in the sun. There was also a preparation known as kushmanda manachaki. We request our editors of cookbooks to add all these nice preparations described by the experienced author, Srila Kaviraj Goswami. And many of these preparations are in the cookbook, so it would really be nice if the devotees learned how to cook these things. Narikela Sasya Chana Sharkara Madhura Mocha Ganta Dugda Kushmanda Sakala Prachura. The preparation made with coconut pulp mixed with curd and rock candy was very sweet. There was a curry made of banana flowers and squash boiled in milk, all in great quantity. Mudaramla Bora Amladi Panchachai Sakala Vyanjana Koilak Loge Jatahoy. There were small cakes in sweet and sour sauce and 5 or 6 kinds of sour preparations. All the vegetables were so made that everyone present could take prasadam. So there was big quantities made for Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and the devotees. Mudga Bora Kala Bora, Masha Bora Mishta, Kir Puli, Narikela, Jatapita, Ishta. There were soft cakes made with moong dal, soft cakes made with ripe bananas, and soft cakes made with urad dal. There were various kinds of sweetmeats, condensed milk mixed with rice cakes, a coconut preparation, and every kind of cake desirable. So these preparations that are called cakes, they're soft cakes made with moong dal. It means like a small patty, and it's actually fried. And there are cakes made with ripe bananas, also made from bananas, and they're fried, and cakes made with urad dal. There were various kinds of sweetmeats, condensed milk mixed with rice cakes, coconut preparation, and every kind of cake desirable. Batisha, Atiya, Kalara, Donga, Bora Bora, Chale, Hale Nahi, Donga, Ate, Boradora. All the vegetables were served in pots made of banana leaves taken from trees producing at least 32 bunches of bananas. These pots were very strong and big and did not tilt or totter. So, Panchasha Donga Vyanjana Puriya Tina Bogera Hashe Bhashe Rakila Darinya. All around the three eating places were 100 pots filled with various kinds of vegetables. So when we would go to, now things are gradually changing, but when we would go to originally to Bengal and they would serve us a feast, everybody was served on plates made from banana leaves. Plates made from banana leaves sometimes, but they also had plates made from leaves that were big leaf plates, and those were just from leaves from trees, but they were all sewn together. Sagrita Payasa Nabam Mrit Kundika Baranya Tina Patre Ganavarta Dugda Raketa Dariya. So people would have, when they served hundreds of people, they would have these kind of plates made from leaves. And then in the house, when people would eat, they had like very, very nice, like bell metal plates they had. Sakrita Payasanavamrit Kundika Bharanya Tina Patre Ganavarta Dugda Raketa Darinya. So it said, it was mentioned in the beginning, there were 3 plates, and one was a metal, that's a special plate made for offering to the deities, bell metal plate, and then there are 2 banana leaf plates, and then so many preparations are being served. Along with the various vegetables was sweet rice mixed with ghee. This was kept in new earthen pots. Earthen pots filled with highly condensed milk were placed in 3 places, and also where the liquids are served in clay pots. Dugda Chira Kala Ara Dugda Laklaki Jateka Korela Taha Kohite Nash Shaki. Besides the other preparations, there were chip rice made with milk and mixed with bananas, and also white squash boiled in milk. Indeed, it is not possible to describe all the preparations that were made. And chip rice means, as I said, this is chira, and chira has different names according to where you are in India, but chira means like rice flakes. They are like flakes of rice, and they become soft when they're soaked in liquids. So they're first washed several times and then soaked in water. Then the water is drained and then they're mixed with different things like yogurt or milk and other preparations. Besides the other preparations, there were chira or chip rice made with milk and mixed with bananas, and also white squash boiled in milk. Indeed, it is not possible to describe all the preparations that were made. Dui pashe dorila sab mrit kundika bari champa kala dari sandesh kohite na pari. In two places were earthen pots filled with another preparation made with yogurt, sandesh, a sweetmeat made with curd. Curd means yogurt, and banana. I am unable to describe it all. Anavyanjanu pare dila tulasi manjari tinjala patre suba sita jawbari. Upon the stack of boiled rice and all the vegetables were flowers of the tulsi trees. There were also pots filled with scented rose water. So these plates have tulsi leaves on them. And in other words, the tulsi leaves are being offered to Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, as well as their tulsi leaves on the deity plates. But Teen Shubhra Pita Tara Upare Vasan Erupe Sakat Krishna Koraila Bojan. There were 3 sitting places where soft cloths were placed. Thus Lord Krishna was offered all the food, and the Lord took it very pleasantly. Aratira Kale Dui Prabhu Baulaila Prabhu Sange Sabe Ashe Arate Dekila. It is a system after offering food to perform Bogarti. Adwaita Prabhu asked the two brothers, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, to come see the arti. The 2 lords and all others present went to see the arti ceremony. Arati Koriya Krishna Karalasshaya Acharya Ashe Prabhure Tabe Koilanibedan. After arti was performed for the deities in the temple, Lord Krishna was made to lie down to rest. The deities were put to rest. Adwaita Acharya then came out to submit something to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Grihara Bitare Prabhu Koranagaman Duibai Ailatabe Korite Bojan. Sri Adwaita Prabhu said, "My dear lords, kindly enter this room." The 2 brothers, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, then came forward to take the prasadam. Mukunda Haridas Dui Prabhu Bolaila Jorahate Dui Jan Kohite Lagila. When Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu went to accept the prasadam, they both called Mukunda and Haridas to come with them. However, Mukunda and Haridas, both with folded hands, spoke as follows. Mukunda kohe morakichu kritya nahi sare pache mui prasad pamu tumi jahagare. When Mukunda was called for, he submitted, "My dear Lord, I have something to do that is not yet finished. Later I shall accept the prasadam, so you 2 Prabhus should please enter the room." So this is all arranged by Adwaita Acharya to feed Mahaprabhu along with Nityananda Prabhu. And the other devotees are offering respectful excuses so as not to be, they will take later and take the prasadam that Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, of them, they'll take their prasadam. Haridas Kohim Mui Papishta Hanama Mahire Ek Mushti Pache Kori Mu Bojan. Besides, there's prasadam cooked in big quantities for everyone. Haridas Thakur said, "I am the most sinful and lowest among men. Later I shall eat 1 palmful of prasadam while waiting outside." What he's saying is, after we'll take your remnants, we'll take your prasadam. And it'll be Mahaprasadam. Dui Prabhu Loya Charya Gela Bitaragare Prasadakiya Prabhur Ananda Antare. Adwaita Acharya took Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within the room, and the two lords saw the arrangement of the prasadam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially was very pleased. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased because he saw how nicely so many varieties of food were prepared for Krishna. Actually, all kinds of prasadam are prepared for Krishna, not for the people, but the devotees partake of prasadam with great pleasure. So Mahaprabhu sees these 3 plates of offerings, and he sees so many preparations, and he considers, oh, these are all offerings to the Lord. Aichiyana Jay, and he's very happy that such beautiful prasadam is offered to the Lord, to the deities. Aichiyana Jay, Krishna ke Koraya Bojan, Janme Janme Shirida Daron Tahara Charan. Mahaprabhu approved of all the methods employed in cooking and offering food to Krishna. Indeed, he was so pleased that he said, frankly, I will personally take the lotus feet of anyone who can offer Krishna such nice food and place those lotus feet on my head, birth after birth. Okay. So I'm going to stop at this point, and hopefully tomorrow we'll continue. Hariharaya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namah Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namah Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Adwaita Acharya Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Adwaita Acharya Janardan Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Adana Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raghunath Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jaoite Vignana Shabishta Puran Jaoite Vignana Shabishta Puran Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Tasabar Pada Renu Mora Panchagras Sabar Pada Renu Mora Panchagras Tadir Chanana Sevi Bhakta Sanimas Tadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanimas Janame Janame More Abilas Janame Janame More Abilas Ejai Gosa Jabe Branche Koilabas Ejai Gosa Jabe Branche Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhyaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhyaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamuna. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamuna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravaja Acharya Ashtatara Sadashi Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravaja Acharya Ashtatara Sadashi Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsiko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adwaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Vishvabaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Sripad Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj ki jai. Sripad Bhakti Tilak Niriha Maharaj ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Shishi Guru. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adwaita Acharya Sri Vasudeva Sri Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopika Pradhan Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo ki jai. Shri Purushottam Madam ki jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jiu ki jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nrsingadev ki jai. Bhakta Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.